Hi there. My spirit team woke me up with an image that I wanted to share with you because I think it perfectly illustrates the reason you should be motivated to try to develop your connection to the divine. And if you watched my previous video, you saw me start to help you develop a new meditative path to get close to your spirit team and the divine. And I'm on a mission to break down the barriers that have kept humans from being close to God's source, because I remember what it felt like when I was trying to develop my skills, and I don't want people to be frustrated. I want you to have clear guidance from your spirit team, or as clear as you can get from your spirit team. They can be pretty opaque sometimes, but I thought this was the perfect message to share because it really illustrates the way that developing your source to the divine can lead to the development of your clairsenses and can impact your day-to-day life. So first of all, the clairsenses are psychic abilities that most humans haven't developed very well, but I don't believe they're gifts. I think they're skills. I don't think, I'm not big on only a certain number of people get to have this or do this. I think everyone has the raw DNA and connection to the divine that they can develop these skills, and not all of them. For example, clairaudience, where you hear, I don't have that skill, thank goodness. That would drive me bananas. But I do have clairsentience, which is probably the one I've had all of my life, which is, some people describe it as empathy, where you know how someone's feeling, or you can put yourself in a situation and know how someone is going to feel in your mind. So, and frankly, if you are an empathetic person, a hypersensitive, empathetic person, this can be a real problem in your life too. And so I've had to work on good boundaries around that skill, and I'm sure we'll be talking about that. The other ones that really came on board with my meditative practice and my deliberate work to grow close to God and the divine is claircognizance, which is when you know something. Lots of times when I start getting a claircognizance message, I'll just start writing and it'll come through with what I've written down. And then also clairvoyance, which is an inner eye image. And when my clairvoyance first started developing, I was, of course, intending and deliberately working on developing a connection to God. And I would see in the morning an image in my eye of an outfit that I could wear that would make me feel good. And I started to recognize that I wasn't wanting to know what outfit to wear. I wasn't really needing to have an image in my eye of what to wear, or in my mind's eye of what to wear, but it was there anyway. And I started recognizing that that was just a little bit outside of me, that input was coming from somewhere outside of me. And so I want to encourage you that these skills can be developed, and you probably already have the kernel of them somewhere in your life. Or they're giving me an image now of a restaurant. You want to go out to a restaurant with your husband or your family, or meet somebody. Your friends say something simple to you like, let's go out and eat. And you pause and you think, do you stop and say, what is my stomach hungry for? Maybe you do. Maybe that's part of your process. But maybe you get an image in your eye of that really fun restaurant that you went to, and you lean into it if you're a little bit clairsentient like me, and it feels like that would be a good place to go tonight. And you say, hey, let's go there. And so these images that we get in our head, sometimes we dismiss them to imagination. I talked about that in my previous video. And I just want to encourage you not to dismiss them. to understand that if you see things in your mind's eye at all, even if you just think it's about where you want to go to a restaurant or an outfit you want to wear, this can be the beginning of developing a clairvoyant connection to God's source and the divine. And I would have found that very empowering if someone had told me when I was attempting to learn this. And so I definitely want to share that with you. So back to what happened to me this morning. My thing is falling down there. There we go. So I woke up this morning with a mind's eye, a clairvoyant image of Dan Rather in my mind. And that didn't strike me as, let's just say, otherworldly or a message from the divine at all, because I had been watching one of his interviews yesterday with celebrities. He does these really great interviews with celebrities. If you haven't seen them, they're really deep, and I enjoy watching those. And they're reminding me also to let you know that very often they'll use an image or something that's pretty familiar. I mean, if they had woke me up this morning with an image of the leader of North Korea, or an image that was off-putting in any way, I would have been like, I don't. So they wanted to grab my attention. So they used something, I think, I know enough about the way they work at this point, that was familiar to me, something that I just didn't go, ooh, like that. I was just waking up. It's kind of gentle. And then they showed me an image of Dan Rather 30 years ago, sitting behind a news desk, delivering the news, and it was in a black and white. And then I knew, oh, okay, this is something they want me to communicate to me. This is important, because I wouldn't think about Dan Rather 30 years ago. And then they showed me a picture of another news anchor who has white hair, and I initially didn't know his name, but my mic didn't work the first time I recorded this, so I'm doing it again. So it was Walter Cronkite. And definitely have no reason to be thinking about Walter Cronkite when I first woke up in the morning. So all that to say, that was enough for me to go, oh, okay, pay attention. And so I held those images in my mind of those two, and I just waited. And pretty quickly, these things come very, very quickly, and part of the skill is registering it in the quickness that it comes, because this could have happened in half a second, all that I'm about to tell you. It's that quick. And so I saw an image of a TV network that is known for having a pretty right or Republican slant on the news, and they were sitting on a couch, a circular couch, and they were talking about things. And so someone said, this happened today, and then everyone else is talking about it. Okay. And then they showed me the news set for a news network that is known for being very left-leaning. Same thing, someone is sitting behind a desk presenting facts, and then they're asking people to the side to give them insight on these facts. And so I realized in that moment with the claircognizance that the message was about contrast. The message was about how Walter Cronkite, Dan Rather, used to deliver the facts. And this is not something I'm super trained in, but I believe that the facts in those days were absolutely checked and double checked, and there was a lot of integrity about presenting factual information to the best of their knowledge. I think there was a lot of pride in presenting facts. And so it was a kind of a dry recitation, is the word I'm getting, dry recitation of the day's events. And people would show up at 6 o'clock at night and watch, boom, 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 this is what's going on. And by giving that dry recitation of facts, humanity or a country, because news tends to be fairly regional or national, which is interesting. I hadn't realized that. Same thing happens on a regional sense. The facts are delivered without a lot of dispute. Now, how someone 30 years ago took those facts and talked to their friends or had an opinion about them was entirely disenfranchised is the word they're using. It was there wasn't a common interpretation to the facts. They were the facts, and the facts may be interpreted one way in New York and another way in Texas, or one way in Utah and another way in Tennessee. National facts. For example, when JFK was assassinated, some people took those facts and decided there was a conspiracy to kill him. Some people, my mom talks about people cheering where she was when she was a child, were happy that he was killed. Other people were crying and mourning. So there was a differentiation of reality from these facts. And so that was the compare and contrast versus what the way our news media is now. And this doesn't seem very revolutionary as I think about it, but stick with me for a minute, because there's a hidden spiritual insight here that is hugely impactful, and kind of did blow my mind, and I thought I need to share this. And so the way the news media is shared now is facts are presented, and maybe these facts have a bit of a slant based on where you're, my hands on the screen, based on where you're watching these facts from. But then the facts are interpreted. The facts are, okay, Mr. Guest, who's an expert in this, tell us what you think about these facts. This person, let's call it a bubblehead. This bubblehead, sorry, I don't mean to be respectful, but this person who's been brought onto the show to comment, commenter is better. The commenter then is going to talk about the facts, and the commenter is going to put their opinion of the facts out into the world. And this is the part that really has a lot of energy around it. They almost always give some sort of projection about what this means for our future. Oh, we're having fires in California. This means that somebody isn't, doing their job right, or this means, and if this continues, then blah, 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 blah. It's never just a one-off on looking at the facts. Same thing from a different network. Oh, these, you get what I'm saying. So these commenters are, in fact, predicting, in a sense, what they believe is going to happen in the future based on these facts. And you've probably heard of the law of attraction, where what you believe becomes your reality. And so the big insight for me this morning was, wow, they are pointing out that when you have a commenter talking about what the facts mean in the future, that they are creating a common narrative that, if we choose to believe it, can in fact make that narrative become true, can make that narrative become reality, because we are energetic creatures whose emotions and beliefs do affect our reality and also our future. For example, the stock market. I think it's pretty common that everyone thinks there's going to be some sort of a correction in the stock market. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying, whether you get your news over here or whether you get your news over here, everyone pretty much feels that something is going to happen in the stock market because it's been going and going and going. And in fact, as I record this on I think it's the 28th of January, there's just been some news come out that a rival country has produced better AI technology. I don't know a whole lot about this, but I do know that the stock market went like that yesterday because of this news. And so now commenters are going to come out and talk about the fact that the stock market did this yesterday, and they're either going to say, oh, this is a buying opportunity and everyone's going to jump in and buy a bunch, or they're going to say, oh, this is a really big problem, now it's going to continue to go down. And what if that creates a reality? What you believe creates a reality. And so the bigger message is discernment. Why would I want, or why would any of us want, a commenter, no matter which side of the spectrum that they're on, to have the power to influence our reality and our future? And so I find that really fascinating. I don't watch the news networks. I haven't for a long time, but I just can't help but put that information together to say that there's a bigger force at hand than just influencing in a national community when they're projecting what's going to happen in the future, and if we believe it. If I believe the stock market's going to crash, and I pull all my money out of the stock market, I have in fact, more than energetically, I have taken action as one tiny little, I don't have a whole lot of money, as one tiny little blip in the cog to make that happen. And so I just think it's fascinating. I want to thank my team for giving me that wonderful example, because I'm all about helping you develop your own clairsenses through your connection with divine. And the message this morning that I got in the tiniest little blip like that, I was able to understand it. I was able to take it in, to think about it, to say, wow, that is really fascinating. And I think that's true because I have done the work that I want to help you to do to develop that connection to God and to my spirit team, and to understand that when I saw an image of Walter Cronkite and Dan Rather 30 years ago, as I was just waking up, that I needed to pay attention and catch the subsequent information that was coming, because it would have meaning in some way. Sometimes the messages are the smallest thing. Sometimes they're hugely significant, but this one I think is particularly relevant for encouraging you to take the time to develop your practice. Watch these videos. Please like, subscribe, share. I would like to help as many people as possible. And I think it's exciting. And yeah, so I'm glad to unpack that for you here. And I'll be coming out again this week with the next step in developing your own practice to grow close to God's source, which then probably, I'm going to say probably, means that whatever clairsenses that you were born with can be developed to help you in your everyday life, and certainly to feel close to what is beyond this human realm. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Have a joyous day. I'll be talking to you soon. Bye-bye.